Peace be with you. I'm Pastor Stephen Gjerde at Zion Lutheran Church, and I am joining you late on Wednesday evening, April 21st, in order to share Picture Time, which is a special time for our Sunday school children and people of every age to look at beautiful artwork that helps to illustrate the lesson of the Sunday school classes this past Sunday. And I didn't catch you on Tuesday, so I wanted to go ahead and post this on Wednesday so that you could have it and use it before we meet again for Sunday school this next Sunday. So what did the children learn this past Sunday at Sunday school? They learned about the wisdom of Solomon. Now, the wisdom of Solomon. First of all, who is King Solomon? King Solomon is the son of King David. So we heard about David and Goliath, how David killed the giant Goliath. Well, when David died, his son Solomon became king. And one time God appeared to him in a dream and said, Solomon, what do you want? I can give you riches. I can give you power. What is it that you want from me? And Solomon asked for wisdom. That is, he asked for the ability to perceive and know what to do in every situation so that he could be a good king and a good ruler. Well, in 1 Kings chapter 3, so a book of the Bible called 1 Kings, in the third chapter of 1 Kings, we have an example of just how wise God made Solomon. He made him so wise that Solomon once was able to help identify who the true mother of a child was. So what happened was, and here's King Solomon, and here's two mothers, and here's some people who belong to King Solomon's court. Kings have courts, people who help them rule. And the two women came to King Solomon because they shared a room, the two women did, and they both had a baby, but one of the babies died. And so the mother whose baby died decided to take her baby who had died, and while the other mother slept, slip that baby in with that mother and take the mother's live baby for herself. Well, what happened was the other mother woke up and she found that her baby was dead, but she thought, this isn't my baby. My baby is the one over there in the other bed with the other mother who's alive. And so they came before King Solomon, both arguing over the baby. And see, here we have, it's kind of a gruesome picture, okay? But it's a gruesome picture with a sort of happy ending. We have the one child here who has died. And then we have another child over here being held by a man who is going to cut that baby in half. Now that sounds awful, doesn't it? But there's a reason why he's doing that. King Solomon had two women in front of him arguing over these two children, both of them saying that the live baby is hers and that the dead baby is not. So King Solomon, in his wisdom, said, okay, I'll tell you what. We'll cut the baby in half and you can each get half of the baby. And as soon as he said that, the one mother said, no, 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 don't cut the baby in half. And the other mother said, yeah, you go ahead and you cut that baby in half. And that's how King Solomon knew who was the real mother was, because a real mother never would say, go ahead and cut the baby in half. And so the mother to whom the baby actually belonged was the one who spoke up and said, no, don't do that. And the mother to whom the baby does not belong was the one who said, sure, go ahead and cut him in half. So immediately King Solomon knew to whom that baby really belongs. It belongs to the mother who spoke up to save that baby. So this painting was painted by a man named Raffaello Sanzio da Urbino, who died in 1520. So he died 500 years ago last year. And he painted this painting to show us that moment in which King Solomon tells one of his courtiers, one of the guards in his court, to go ahead and cut that baby in half. And one mother speaks up to help her, and the other mother is proven to not be the real mother. Now that teaches us some things about what it means to be a mother. It teaches us about wisdom. What it also teaches us is that God kept his promise. God said, I'll give you whatever you ask for, Solomon asked for wisdom, and God gave him the wisdom to judge that case and to judge it wisely. And so God keeps his promises, and the promise he kept to Solomon was to give him wisdom. Now, if you ask God for wisdom, do you think he'll give it to you? I think he will. I think if you go to God and ask for good things like wisdom, love, patience, the ability to pray more, he will hear that. If you ask him for faith, he'll hear that prayer. If you ask him for hope, he will hear that prayer. God keeps his promises, just as he did to King Solomon to help him be a good king. And that is picture time for this week. Peace be with you.